Come on, Mom Daddy. Let's talk about Zohran Mamdani for a minute. I am currently working on another long-form video about Taylor Swift. But I realize that YouTube does not like it when I don't make and post consistently, so let's just consider this video to be a small appetizer before the main course next month. If you've subscribed to my channel because of my takes on Drag Race or pop culture in general, you're gonna have to wait a teeny bit longer, and I'm so sorry. Just bear with me here, divas. I've got to scratch the politics itch just a little bit more. Zohran Mamdani. This man is easily the most exciting thing that has happened to the American Democratic Party since AOC all the way back in 2018. Everything from his campaign planks to his marketing strategy to his sheer charisma is just enchanting. Every time I see him on my timeline, I feel a sense of hope and joy, and I don't usually feel that way these days unless there's a bottle of VCR cleaner up my nose. I feel the rush, addicted to your touch. Okay, fix my hair. How do I look? How does she look though? I'm not being the twink allegations. This is going to be a quick analysis and dissection of Zohran Mamdani, his politics, campaign, and the discourse surrounding him, as well as a call to action. New York, this is your moment. Have it. I'm not really that interested in exploring his backstory. That has been done before. Where I want to start though is with his specific campaign promises and the planks of his platform. But before we begin, a little bit of shameless self-promo. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you know whenever I'm posting so that way you can stay updated on all things Archie Merc. I am trying to get this channel to break 5K subscribers before the end of the year, and you can help me out with that. Furthermore, I am also on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter, all of which are linked in the link tree below, and all social media platforms I am on, I do ask are 18+, including my Twitch, where you can follow me at twitch.tv/thatarchiemerc. Any and all follows on there helps. It's free, it's a lot of fun. We're currently playing Pokemon Legends ZA on there, so come hang out with us and have a good time while I'm live. I stream multiple times a week. Okay, no more shameless self-promo. Let's dive in. Part 1. Mamdani's platform. Mamdani has made the focus of his platform a more affordable New York for everyone. This simple focus is effective for a few reasons. Firstly, it's that large metropolitan areas like New York City or Los Angeles or Chicago are notoriously expensive and difficult to live in. Between gentrification projects to greedy landlords, the cost of living in these cities is so goddamn high. I just took a trip to Seattle, and going out to eat is like 100% more expensive than eating in rural cities like Ellensburg. The second reason is that it taps into the most basic needs of a human being: housing, comfort, and food. The cost of living is high, and so is the amount of stress a person might feel the closer they are to the poverty line. This is especially true of the working class, blue-collar workers who are struggling to make ends meet. An overwhelming narrative from the last decade about the Democratic Party is that they just aren't the party of the people anymore. Most of the establishment can and has been bought out by corporations and lobbyists. For example, Senator Cory Booker is gleefully in the pocket of AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee.
We text back and forth like teenagers.
Oh, I'm sure, Linda. When politicians are bought out, they stop taking care of their constituents and start serving the interests of the rich and powerful. In contrast to this, though, Mamdani doesn't seem very interested in serving corporations, lobbyists, or landlords. His policy-focused campaign seems very solutions-oriented, and people are resonating with that. At the time where the most powerful politician in the world is laser focused on building a stupid ballroom for the White House, generative AI encroaches more on creative spaces and labor, and culture wars are run AMAC, it is deeply refreshing to see someone who is putting all their time and energy into trying to help make their community a better place. Some of my personal favorite planks in Mamdani's platform include creating city-owned grocery stores, transforming public schools into eco-friendly spaces, holding landlords accountable, declaring New York a sanctuary city for LGBTQIA+ persons, raising the minimum wage to $30 by 2030, taxing the 1% and corporations. And this last one is just petty and funny. It says, Trump-proofing NYC. Get him, queen! Drag is not a contact sport, but politics are. Part 2. Politics is optics. Let's sit down and watch one of Mamdani's ads together and analyze why it works so well.
Good morning. I know some of you have expressed concerns about my age. You're worried about a 33-year-old becoming mayor of New York City. And I want you to know I hear you. That's why this weekend I'll be making a change. I'm turning 34, and I'm committing that for every single day from here on out, I will grow older. It's not something I ever wanted to do, but I know it matters to you, so I am. You can get that out of here. Let's cut to the chase. The best birthday gift you could give me is to come on out and canvass. This is the last weekend before early voting starts on Saturday, October 25th. So head to zohranfornyc.com/birthday, sign up for a canvas, bring your friend, bring a date, bring your parents, bring anyone you know. Because the best gift is to beat Andrew Cuomo a second time. And the only way we can do that is if we do it together. So let's go knock.
Okay, let's start with the obvious. This is fucking hilarious. Him poking fun at people for doubting his capabilities because he's a younger politician is brilliant. Instead of doing what other politicians do, make a long, sappy statement about, I may be young, but I'm full of charisma and ideas, and I'm the future that the people need, he leans into the absurdity of it all. This is also why Demi Lovato is cool again, by the way. Because yeah, it is really dumb that people think a 34-year-old is somehow less qualified to run a city than a 67-year-old crusty nutsack. So he makes light of it by saying, I am going to make a change. I'm gonna turn 34, and I'm only gonna get older, and honestly, I don't really want to do that. It's witty and cuts into the opposition, but it's not callous, cynical, cruel, or condescending. It's charming, authentic, charismatic, and welcoming. And this self-aware humor is deliberately disarming because it's then followed up by a call to action. If you want to give me an amazing birthday gift, come and canvass with me. Whenever there is a special occasion, people tend to be more inclined to perform acts of service, buying you a drink, a gift, treating you to dinner. Capitalizing on the situation to ask people to canvass for you is incredibly smart. And I mean, I get that. I have straight up asked people this year that if they want to get me a Christmas gift, they can just donate to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. That, or send me rent money. Onlyfans.com/that. Did you all hear that? Anyways, this ad is one of just several parts of a brilliant marketing campaign. In the influencer age, politicians have to start thinking like creators, because no matter how many late night show appearances you make, the only way you are going to secure the Gen Z and millennial voting bloc is by speaking their language. And social media is their language. To contrast this, let's take a look at one of his biggest opponents, Andrew Cuomo.
Zohran Mamdani's opponents want you to believe he's an inexperienced radical whose policies will make New York City more dangerous. But what do his actual supporters think?
Mamdani isn't crazy.
He's just trying to even the playing field.
Give everyone a fair shot. Sure, he said multiple times we need to defund the police, but that was just a metaphor.
And yes, he did say crime is a social construct, but that was also a metaphor.
His main backer, the Democratic Socialists' ideas are common sense, such as
Decriminalizing misdemeanors, like shoplifting.
Okay, for starters, the fastest way to look uncool in this day and age is to use generative AI. I'm like the #1 hater of generative AI, especially when it comes to creative expression. They say if you want to lose an argument, invoke the Third Reich, and I have another thing to add to that list. Generative AI. Nothing makes you look more uncool and out of touch than using generative AI, and this becomes increasingly true when you're trying to dunk on your political opposition. Think about the widespread backlash our own sitting president got when he posted a video of him flying in a plane with a crown over his head, dunking shit on a crowd of protesters. It's just like juvenile, man. Aren't you supposed to be the head of state, set an example for the people? Don't you have more important things to do, like, I don't know, running a country? I could make a whole slew of arguments as to why people should not be using generative AI in its current state, such as the environmental impact or the danger it poses to artists and creatives, but honestly, the biggest argument I could have against it is a lot more simple. It's cringe. Using generative AI might score you points with older demographics who are not as tech savvy, but when have the boomers ever been in touch with the current culture and times? Well, not all boomers, but you know who I'm talking about. Not you, Stevie Nicks. You're perfect, you're beautiful, you look like Linda Evangelista, you're a model. Like, think about the people that go gaga for generative AI. Boomers, Deborah on Facebook, neckbeards, Gen Z tech bros, Silicon Valley shareholders, Elon Musk, Truth Social users, men who generate porn of their favorite celebrities, venture capitalists, and billionaires. What do these people have in common? They are cringe. Groups like billionaires and boomers tend to be out of touch to an almost painful degree. Meanwhile, older groups like tech bros or Elon Musk or older social media users lack a key self-awareness about how they are coming across. So before you log on and follow yet another trend or ask ChatGPT to generate whatever AI slop is in your head, ask yourself this question. Do I really want to be associated with him or her or him? No. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. Never mind that these people tend to have really shitty politics. They're cringe. Do you want to be cringe? In my last video about Charlie Kirk, I said that people don't care about lawmakers. They care about celebrities. The average voter isn't usually going to go out of their way to dig into a person's platform or research the long-term implications of the policies they're proposing, which I do think in itself is kind of problematic. I think we should encourage people to be more aware of who they're voting for and make decisions with informed consent. But people tend to vote for whoever they think is going to do the job best. And at that point, it doesn't matter how many promises you make or how bulletproof your platform is, if you cannot charm the masses with charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, you're dead in the water. That is also precisely why Kamala is Brat worked so well. Harris's marketing team leaned in just the right amount, for a time, to the coconut and Brat memes to show that they are in fact in touch with the culture and times, because being out of touch is indicative of a larger issue. It shows that you don't listen to people. It shows that you care more about doing whatever has worked for you in the past or whatever you want without considering what people are talking about. And if you can't keep up with the times, can constituents even trust you to listen to their most basic needs? Of course, the inverse of this is listening too much, and that's how we end up with Pokemon Go to the polls. So it really is a fine, tricky line to walk, but it's not impossible as long as you pay attention and be authentic. I live by hospitals. This is so much fun. I love living by the hospitals. I hate living by the hospitals. The sirens go all night. Stream Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. The optics of Andrew Cuomo using generative AI are bad. It shows that he's out of touch, uninterested in platforming creative talent, uncaring of the larger implications, and deeply, deeply lazy. Oh, and speaking of hit pieces, let's finally start unpacking a little bit of the Islamophobia surrounding Mamdani. Part 3. Who is afraid of Mamdani? Let's rewatch the first few seconds of that Cuomo ad.
Experienced radical, whose policies will make New York City more dangerous. But what do his actual supporters think?
So, Mamdani is depicted as eating from a bowl of rice with his bare hands, a food that is often associated with Middle Eastern and Islamic cultures. The choice to deliberately prompt your AI tool to depict a Muslim man eating from a bowl of rice, barehanded, a style of eating that is often associated with barbarism and being uncultured, uncivilized, and sloppy. It's racist. This is racism. I'm not even offended on his behalf at the Islamophobia. I'm offended at how lazy this goddamn takedown is.
Yeah, let's just lean into an ethnic stereotype. That'll really hurt his feelings.
We got him now, RuPaul! A lot of the discourse surrounding Mamdani is the same bullshit that we see surrounding pro-Palestinian activists. Queers for Palestine is bullshit. They'll throw you off a roof. Mamdani's opponents are so quick to dismiss people of color, as well as queer, trans, and femme people, until Islam enters the conversation. On October 11th, I posted a semi-viral tweet in support of Mamdani doing an ad discussing the history of trans liberationists and Sylvia Rivera in New York City. And the comment section was, interesting. Here are some of the highlights.
This him.
Thanks for rounding them up.
You useful idiots. Islamists like this will lie to get to your vote. Once in total power, you will be thrown from the tallest, nearest building by Islamic law. Research it, please. Chicken for KFC. Mamdani weaponizing Sylvia Rivera's legacy while pushing policies that gut public safety. Peak hypocrisy. Rivera fought for survival in a city under siege. Mamdani's abolish ICE lunacy invites the chaos she resisted. Meanwhile, Curtis Sliwa's out there actually protecting neighborhoods from the cartel pipelines and shelter overload Mamdani's DSA pals engineered. Rivera stood against the machine. Mamdani is the machine, dressed in slogans funded by grift, leaving New Yorkers to pay the price. And your daddy was in bed with me last night. Have a pleasant day.
Oh, and he left a satisfied customer. Why do people immediately invoke Islamophobia the moment that they are confronted with a Muslim opponent? Well, we should probably address the 9/11-sized elephant in the room. Since September 11th, 2001, the American cultural mistrust against Muslim people has just been an underlying constant. Anyone across the political spectrum can and has punched down on the religion of Islam because they associate it with terrorists and religious extremists in the Middle East, from Al-Qaeda to ISIS. It is that association that makes it such an easy scapegoat. And yes, there is a grain of truth that there are militant religious extremists in the Middle East, but they're also in America. The Proud Boys? The Ku Klux Klan? Hello? Every religion in the world has its militant and conservative factions. I mean, for Christ's sake, there are Christians in Western countries using their faith to justify the violent expansion of the state of Israel. Most religions can be co-opted in some way to support antisocial behaviors. So to just write this off as a Muslim issue is dishonest. Fun fact about me, by the way, my birthday is on March 10th, and I share a birthday with Brooklyn Heights, Carrie Underwood, Chuck Norris, and Osama bin Laden. I don't know what that says about me, but I think it's funny. Who's your most out-of-pocket celebrity birthday? Leave a comment and subscribe. I do want to highlight a couple counter-arguments that people are using as to why you should not be supporting Zohran Mamdani, because they are really dumb and make for great content. So let's start with the one that is most in my wheelhouse.
Excuse me? How can you, a gay person, support someone like Zohran Mamdani? Don't you know that the radical Islamists hate gay people? I thought you cared about gay people.
Don't look at me. I don't give a shit about gay people. Okay, well, I care just a little bit. So the first common argument against Mamdani is along the lines of, how could you vote for a Muslim man? He hates gay people. Baby, he doesn't hate me because I'm gay. He hates me because I'm annoying. This argument not only comes from Islamophobic stereotypes, but also about who he has been around. The quickest example people pull out, of course, is his friendly photo op with Deputy Prime Minister Rebecca Kadaga. Kadaga supported a bill in 2012 called the Anti-Homosexuality Act, or more colloquially called in Western countries as Kill the Gays Bill, which got its name from how the original bill suggested the death penalty for LGBTQ persons in instances of aggravated homosexuality. That is, when the sexual act is non-consensual, such as with a person who is under the age of 18. The later iterations of the 2014 Anti-Homosexuality Act in Uganda did not include the death penalty for aggravated homosexuality, and it was eventually ruled void by the Ugandan Supreme Court because it was not passed using the proper procedures in the Ugandan parliament. So, yes, it is really shitty to see that Deputy Prime Minister Kadaga does support this. It is also really annoying to see him and her have a friendly photo op. But I have a more good faith interpretation of that is probably more true to reality. They're from the same goddamn country. Yes, Both Mamdani and Kadaga are from Uganda. If anything, she expressed support for him not because he's trying to stealth some anti-LGBT policy into law, but because that's her countrymen. It's like if someone from your hometown made it onto the Kansas City Chiefs, you know? Yeah, I'm not from Kansas City, but it's neat that good old Travis Kelce from Mr. Carpenter's third period biology class is on the team. I'm gonna go support him. People use Rebecca Kadaga or any other Middle Eastern, Muslim, and or African politician's vocal support of Mamdani as some kind of proof that he is secretly anti-LGBT. Sister, I think it's time you put Twitter down and start touching grass. And for any anti-LGBT politician supporting him, there's like at least 3, if not more, pro or actually LGBT politicians supporting him. And this includes Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders, and yes, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Like, yes, it should not be surprising that his kinfolk are supporting him, but that also does not mean that he is actively supporting their bigotry. And for what it's worth, I fully think that he would be on the front lines in Uganda helping fight for LGBTQ plus liberation. Or anywhere else around the world for that matter. Next.
You hate Jewish people. That's it. You're an anti-Semite. You hate me. You hate me. You hate me and you want me dead. You believe that you would rather support Hamas than Israel. How dare you? You monster. Ah!
Okay, let's look at a really dumb tweet.
Every time that I hear Mamdani's anti-Semitic base shouting tax the rich, what I really think they are saying is tax the Jews. They are obsessed with bashing Israel and wealthy Jewish New Yorkers like at Bill Ackman. Connect the dots. At Gov Kathy Hochul going along with this repulsive. And having Jewish Bernie there for cover redefines the phrase of, quote, useful idiots. This whole thing really gives me the creeps. Just vote at Andrew Cuomo tomorrow if you haven't done so already. Let's send the message that hate has no place in NYC.
I can't believe that people like Maria Donzillo exist because for someone who is so fervently against anti-Semitism, she sure is doing a great job upholding anti-Semitic beliefs. Claiming tax the rich is anti-Semitic is just so asinine. It's really dumb. Let's follow this argument to its logical conclusion. Saying tax the rich is anti-Semitic implies that all rich people in America are Jewish. A long-standing conspiracy theory is that the most powerful rich people in the world, Hollywood elites, bankers, are all Jewish and are secretly trying to control the world from the shadows. Therefore, by saying, when I hear tax the rich, I hear tax the Jews, quite literally, she has boomeranged herself into anti-Semitism. People look at Mamdani as fundamentally anti-Semitic because he is among the most vocal mainstream politicians who are criticizing the Israeli government for their horrific actions in the Gaza Strip. Going so far as to say that he would order the NYPD to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, the moment he sets foot in NYC. And for good reason. Netanyahu is like the primary architect of the ongoing slaughter of Palestinians. Arresting him is like the bare minimum that people can do for the war crimes he and his government have committed. But notice how the focus is not on Jewish people. Mamdani never says Jewish people should be taxed or Jewish people should never have a safe place to go home. He says we must hold Israel accountable. I'm not Noah Samson, King. He said everything I could say and more regarding the situation in Palestine, but I do want to remind everyone that the vast majority of people that are rallying against Israel are not doing so because they're anti-Semitic. They're doing so because they're criticizing a government and their actions. Again, this is dishonest framing, and it's deliberately done so because an uninformed person might have pre-existing biases against Middle Eastern and or Muslim people. Exploiting that fear is a necessary political strategy.
Rhymes with Duomo.
I'm so glad that I finally have a large enough platform to declare, I never found Amy Schumer funny. I think her jokes suck, and I think her shallow politics are worse. Imagine building a whole brand around women can do it too, and then immediately defaulting to supporting an alleged sex pest. Disappointing. Practicing Islam does not mean you believe in the end of Jewish, queer, or trans people. There is no correlation here, and there are plenty of religious studies scholars both who are and aren't Muslim, that can prove this. Let's call it like it is. This is a smear campaign. It is very likely that this is being astroturfed. That is, the practice of publishing opinions or comments on the internet, in the media, etc., that appear to come from ordinary members of the public, but actually come from a particular company or political group as a way to make it seem that a product, policy, opinion, etc. is very popular or has gotten a lot of public support. People in power feel threatened by Mamdani because he represents a growing resentment of the working class and a desire to challenge and change the status quo. Changing the status quo means redistributing a lot of wealth and power that these individuals are hoarding, and we simply can't have that. And that is why it feels as though the smear campaign against Mamdani is at an all-time high. They are deliberately using marginalized people as a prop to appeal to people's gut-feeling fears about Islam, Muslim people, and a type of person that they do not understand or know. This is hot garbage. Stop it.
Part 4. A Better Tomorrow.
I know that this hasn't been like the most in-depth video, but I still wanted to make something to weigh in on the Mamdani discourse, help influence a positive future, and most importantly, encourage other people to cast their goddamn vote. I may not have any skin in the game, but my loved ones do. My community moderators, all the way up to my colleagues and collaborators, are all going to be affected by the outcome of this election. Voting in local elections is essential because these are the ones that impact your day-to-day life the most. I ascribe to the belief that an injury to one is an injury to all. My friends' losses are my losses. If my friends are hurt, so am I. It is for that reason that I am using my platform all the way on the other side of the country to say this. Please, please, please vote for Zohran Mamdani for mayor of New York City. New York, you have the chance to change the status quo and set an example. It is a risk, but it is either that or keep the same bullshit that we've been doing for like the last however many decades at this point. I know that there is a good chance that Mamdani will not be able to achieve everything he sets out to do. I am very aware that he can and probably will disappoint his constituents, as most politicians do. But we really do not have the time to be playing purity politics right now. We must come together to elect officials who can and will wield their power to influence a better common good for all of us. And that's not to say that electoralism is the end-all be-all of politics. Quite frankly, I think there are more important, impactful practices that we can do beyond voting, in my opinion. But while the option is there, fucking use it. My goal is to have this video out before Election Day, so there is still time to vote early. If you need to learn more information about how to vote, please visit vote.gov to learn how to register to vote, where your polling locations are, and what your voter rights are. If you have not voted early and you're watching this before or on Election Day, make sure that you have time scheduled off of work to go out and vote at the polls. Yes, you have more power than you realize. And when we come together to achieve a common goal, the sky is the limit. So be the change that you want to see in the world. It is a really scary time to be alive right now. More and more, it feels like the walls are closing in and the empire is collapsing. But it is not over until we give up. People are not just craving a solution, they're craving refuge. They crave authenticity, hope, and joy. Mamdani's campaign and his promises seem to be delivering on that and more. And while it may not be perfect, it is more than a goddamn start. So please do us all a solid by setting an example and showing us the kind of world that we can achieve. All this is to say, New York City, my beloved, good luck, and don't fuck it up.